Tom, how are you doing?
Good morning. Hello, hello.
Hi, Tom. How are you doing? Good.
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you. All good.
So they've apparently the Sports Authority of India has decided to keep you here for a very long time.
I don't know what you are talking about at the moment. Do you have any updates? Because I don't know a thing.
Oh, the whole purpose of bringing this virus to India was to keep you back.
Oh yeah. I mean, I was still supposed to be here, so for me that situation doesn't change. But I would like to be here and go on the water. You know, that will make that difference.
They overdid that bit.
Oh yeah. But let's see what happens in June. Hopefully, we'll be starting slowly to activate our sailing on the water, because from what I hear on the other countries, they already start sailing. So it will be nice to do it as soon as possible, not to get, not to get in the line, to be also catching up after those 2 months of complete break.
So well, unfortunately for us, the Bombay is the worst hit, and even more unfortunately is that as far as the curve is concerned, we are still on the wrong side of the curve.
Yeah,
And
I know.
still growing very fast. It's not that there's no sign of plateauing or slowing down. And so that's the unfortunate bit. So anyway, I think we are doing the best we can in terms of these shows. I think um, you know. Maybe you can do something on the nitty gritty, the finer details of rigging an optimist. The problem here is that you can't go to an optimist. I mean, you won't be able to show it live. But
That's one of the
an optimist, and
yeah, that's one of the disadvantages I was thinking about, because as we discussed, right, the movie and actually explaining during the movie, that would be something cool. So the kids can then go and like watch the movie and go to the boat and do the same, or at least know what I'm talking about. Um, no, it's going to be difficult without that.
we can organize an optimist and one of our top sailors, but it's going to be, I mean, it's not going to be that easy where the sailor actually, it's a rigged up optimist, and we can have the camera focus there on the rigged up optimist with our sailor, and the sailor can actually, make the adjustments, fine tuning, and sure, we can do a complete practice session.
Mm-hmm.
And then go live after doing a dress rehearsal of exactly what you're going to say and what she's going to do. And like, for example, if the spirit is too loose, so you say this is the way you tighten the spirit. Or if you say, and this is how much the spirit is too tight, this is what it looks like. Or the out haul is too tight, this is what it looks like. And, we can work out about, 10 different aspects of what they need to be watching out every time they are sailing on the water, in terms of rig adjustment, in terms of the rake, in terms of some sailors don't even know that, whether it's clockwise or anti-clockwise on the adjusting your mast rake. So to put that into their heads and say that you don't have to think, things like that. So we can work out about 50 different things which you can do with an optimist on shore. I can try and organize somebody to help you. They could be, instead of the presentation, they will be on the spotlight. And
I know, but I think it's still going to be very difficult because for example, when we will chat about mast rake, so it has to be my way of measurements.
Excuse me, sir.
I have to explain.
Excuse me,
It's going to take time.
Sir, last 3 minutes to go, sir.
okay,
Me, sir.
Okay, let's talk on the phone after that. Okay.
start taking them in here.
Shall we allow them to?
Already one guy who is willing to do 470 presentation as well.
So, Julia, you're the first talk we are having live on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, guys, if you can see me now and hear me, we are live on Zoom. We are also live on YouTube for the first time. We've sent you the link on the Indian Sailors WhatsApp group. And let's welcome Julia Szmit, winner of the 2015 and 16 ISAF World Youth Sailing Championships in Malaysia and New Zealand. Junior winner, which is 5th overall of the 2016 Open World Championships in Italy. Second place in the European Championship 2016 in Hungary, and the winner of the 2015 and 16 Polish Championship in the 420 class. So you will get an idea of what basically preparing for a championship means, and you will also get an idea of what we call the winning attitude, which is so critical to anybody who wants to win from a club championship to a state championship, to a national championship, to an international championship, and thereafter to the Worlds and the Olympics. So you're pretty much covered here. We will have more such talks. Welcome, Julia, and I hand over the mic to you. Thanks very much for being with us. And I know it's very, very early in the morning from where you're coming in. Thanks again. Take care and all the best.
Hello. Can I start now? Yeah. Can we start with the presentation?
Sureka, can you change the slide, please?
Oh, okay. Thank you. So at first, let me introduce myself. So I'm Julia. I won't bother you with pronouncing my last name in Polish. I'm here to tell you about the championship preparation and the winning attitude. And it will be mostly my personal experience because what I've done in my life, I've experienced something and some things, and I can tell you about what my life looked like when I was sailing. I used to be a professional sailor for 12 years. Now I'm a student on a medical studies. So now I'm studying and being an opti coach. Let me start from the beginning. Next slide, please. Next slide. Okay, so I will start talking. And I started from the opties when I was 6. Well, sailing on an opti is more having fun than working or competing, actually. So as you see, it was the best time of my life. like those all my friends from sailing, and so on and so forth. Actually, from the very beginning, I was very successful, but on the Polish stage, I've won the Polish nationals 3 times on Opti, 3 times. So when I went to the Europeans, because I didn't attend the Worlds, didn't attend the Worlds on the Optis, I was 11th on the Europeans, so I was like in a top 15 all the time on the European stage. So I've been sailing Opti for 7 years, and I finished Opti when I was 14 to change my class to 420. Next slide. And I thought it might be interesting for you, and I wanted to show you something, because in Poland here, we have those regular winters when it's snowing and it's freezing, so naturally the lakes are frozen, and here we can try ice sailing. It's like, as you see, you have this wooden boat with 3 blades, and you are, I don't know how to say it, slide or ride on ice. It's fun, I must say, but it's quite dangerous, because this ice Opti can go 60 kilometers per hour. So, well, of course there are bigger boats sailing on ice, but I decided to finish on Opti sailing, ice sailing, and I finished because of my 420 coach, because he really cared about my health and he didn't want me to get injury, because yeah, I was good, so he wanted me to be well prepared for 420 sailing. So when I finished Optis, I decided to change class for 420. And the next slide, please. I decided to go to 420 with my best friend, Hania. We had known each other since 2007, so we were on all the Optis regatta together, and she was quite good on the Optis too. She went with me for the Europeans, and yeah, she was quite successful. But when we went to 420, I've always dreamt to be a skipper, and she dreamt to be a crew. So yeah, it just turned like that. Where I can say that I am a born skipper, that I cannot be the crew. I tried to switch with Hania, but I don't like it. I need to be the chief of the boat, simply. So when I've changed classes to 420, it was not easy to switch the single-handed to double-handed boat, because the second person is like on the beginning is like an obstacle for you. It's really challenging to deal with the second person, and well, when you start sailing together on a boat, it's not me and it's not you who is responsible for the success or the mistakes. It's always the whole team, like you and your crew or your skipper are the one body. You're working as a one body, so there's no person who is more important or less important or more responsible for the success or the mistake. Like, you have to take it you have to take all the things together, and from the moment you start sailing together, it's you're making everything together, and it's your common responsibility. The next slide, please. So I think that on the beginning and during the whole sailing with your partner is communication. I need to add that there are two kinds of relationship that you need to make while sailing on double-handed classes. It's like you need to make one relationship with your crew or skipper, and the second one with your coach, and they differ a lot, because you need to make this good relationship with your crew and skipper to understand the other every second you sail, and this relationship with your coach to that makes you trust the person who is simply more experienced than you are. And I think when those two are cooperating together, those relationships, the faster you can get really successful. Communication is the most important thing, because you can get support from the other person, or you can like push each other to hard work, or to work on something together, or be with those people who can help you go straight away to be successful in what you do. The next slide, please. So I've put some things here to improve your relationship and communication on boats, which is very important to have successful practice, and then be successful in a regatta or a championship or in any competition. So the first thing is conversation. If you talk to each other, you can improve your bond and understand the other person. You cannot read what's on somebody's mind. So if you talk, you can just know each other's needs. The second one is building trust. It is very important to build a trust between you and your partner or boat, and you and your coach. You need to trust each other to make the work easier. For example, you want your crew or skipper to do something, and you need to trust them that they will do it good, like do it well. And if you don't trust them and you have to check it yourself, it won't work like that. So to have this good relationship on your boat, you need to build a strong bond with trusting each other. The next thing is sharing your concerns. Like if you're worried about something or you're stressed, you need to tell it to your partner, because as I said, they cannot read what's on your mind. So if something's bothering you, you need to share it, simply not to hide it inside yourself, but share it with the other. The next thing is setting goals. I think this is the essential thing when it comes to the championship. you need to sit with your partner, and if you want to, that might be your coach too, and you need to set the goals. When other people told me that you need to believe in yourself, but I think that believing in yourself is not that accurate in this situation, because you need to make a list of things that you can do, and the things you can't simply, and the things you need to improve and work on. And when you're on a training, you mostly work on things you're bad at, but when it comes to the championship, you need to avoid doing the things you are not good. So if you have that list, you can see what you have to do and what you need to hard work on. And I know that the less mistakes you make, the more successful you are. So if you set your goals, like I want to be in the top 3, so you will just move on to do this. And I need to add that those goals should be possible. That you need to know what you are capable of and what you are not, and then talk about it and make some possible plans to make during the regatta. The next thing is caring about each other needs, which I mean those simple needs all the people have. It's like, if you're hungry, if you're tired, if you're not feeling well, you need to know the person you're sailing with and know the things they need, because when one person is tired and the second person is is full of strength, you won't work properly, the crew won't work properly, and the training wouldn't be effective, or the champion or the sailing in a championship. And the last thing is criticism, because you need to know how to criticize the other person. I don't mean the rude way, but this constructive criticism that you can make to avoid making further mistakes or repeating your mistakes. If you see that the second person is doing something wrong, now is the time to correct it. You cannot wait with that. You have to do it in the way, in the moment it happens. So these are the things you need to do to improve your relationship on a boat. And next, let's move on to championship straight. The next slide, please. So the championship preparation, we can divide it to the time before the championship and this 4 or 5 days strictly before the regatta. So the first 2 positions, I've put it mental and physical health, because I think this is the most important to do all the work. When you have some health problems and you're not fully rest and your body is tired, you cannot do the hard work. So if you care of your body and your mind clearly, you will be able to work hard. Your body is capable of everything, but you need to prepare it for the work it needs to do. So if you are mentally and physically healthy, you are able to do balanced training. And by the training, I mean sailing, doing the gym work, running, swimming, all the physical things, or and also the mental training, which is very important too. And those trainings need to be balanced to not make you tired, and they need to vary a lot to prepare you somehow for this very big effort that you are going to make during the championship. The championship lasts like 7 days, 6 days, it depends. So it is very, very exhausting for your body to carry on and make and be like your 100% during those every races until the end. So the better you prepare to that, the better the result will be. The next thing is supervision. I mean, like the supervision you need, like if you need a supervision with your diet, you need to ask someone to help you and supervise what you're eating or make you some meals to prepare, because as I said, you need to prepare your body for this huge effort. You need the supervision while training on a gym to avoid the injury, and the every other, like if you need some psychologist, you need to have one if you have some mental problems, and if you need someone to give you a training plan, you need to ask, because I think that every person who is sailing is not that educated in every ways he needs to be. So you need to ask specialists for the advice in that. The last thing is the support. And I mean like support which can help you carry on with your hard work and your way to success. So I mean this, it will be coach, friends, or your family, and every other person you want, and they need you. You need them to support you from the side, and you need to set some rules with them, because during the championship, when you're in a lot of stress, you need someone to lift you up and help you continue this going to success. The next slide, please. So the attitude during championship. I want to say that for me, the most important thing was the comfort. And by the comfort, I mean the proper preparation before the championship. So I need to be sure that I've done huge work to be there, and I've done everything I could to prepare the best to compete in the championship. The second thing I count to the comfort is the current mood. It's like sleeping well, resting, carrying off the diet, and the condition of your body, like of your muscles, that you need to stretch and do some exercises to give you some relief. Also, with this comfort, I meant that you can't worry about things that are not connected with sailing. You need to clear your mind, and that keeps you focused on the goals you've made, your sailing tactics, and reduces the level of stress. Like if you have some problems in your life which is not connected to sailing, you need to forget about it, at least for the time you are on a championship. You don't need to worry about those other things because you need to be focused, and your mind needs to be clear. Your mind needs to be clear to do that work. Okay, so the next thing is being like peaceful about your equipment. As I told you, you need to have a comfort, so you need to reduce the stress factors, and the stress factor might be something getting damaged on your boat because you haven't checked something. You need to be sure that your boat, your winning machine, is ready. It is ready to help you win the race, help you win the whole championship, or be successful and finishing your goal. So I think this equipment check makes you peaceful, that something that anything can get worse, and it's only your tactics and using the winds can lead you to the winning. The next slide, please. So no, the previous one. Okay, thank you. So the way to success is full of failures and successes. So you need to like talk about them both in your team with your coach, simply to remember those good things you've done and to remember them and repeat in the future. And everybody says that you need to forget about the mistake and go on. And I'm saying, do not forget about your mistakes and about your failures, because if you forget about them, there's a possibility you will repeat it in the future. So think about the reasons at first of your failure. Try to eliminate them, find a way to correct your mistake, and never try to do it again. And as I said, don't forget about your failures, because there's a possibility to repeating it. And as fast as you deal with all those things, the fastest you became successful. And yeah, That's what I meant. And next slide, please. And the last thing I wanted to tell about is the next, okay, is fighting with the tension. Fighting with the tension, which is produced by constant working, like doing sailing trainings, gym trainings, thinking about what would happen, what will happen the next day, and all those regatta. It brings you a lot of stress, and your body gets tense, and so that it's not working properly. So there are many ways to relieve the stress and to delete the extra stress factors, and it's very important during the championship. I need to say that using electrical devices like your laptop or the iPad, watching series, is not the good way to relieve this stress. By fighting with the tension, I meant doing some exercises, activities. I did yoga on the championship to relieve the stress. I mean those open air activities. It may be reading book, it may be drawing, but something that will make you get over that stress you have every single day. And the tension here may appear not only only the winners struggle with that, because when you are good at something, you are expected to be good every single time, or even be better. So it depends on a person how you react on that. But if you need a specialist to help you, you need to do this, because one day when you are so stressed or so tense that you will say, I'm not working anymore, I can't handle that. And the stress relief is important to keep you on working. And going to the success. So well, that will be all for me. I will try to answer all the questions you have for me.
Thanks, Julia. That was spectacular. And from somebody who's been there and done that, I think the key takeaways from everything that you've said is that one of the important things that you said was to focus on the bad stuff while you're in training, and while you're in championship mode and during the championship mode, definitely focus on the good stuff and try to avoid doing the bad stuff. Crew need to work body and mind as if they are one.
Yes.
Not to forget about mistakes, but learn from them also. That goes for successes too. I'm sure there's a lot to learn from even successes, that it should not be a one-off fluke. And the physical relaxation is a lot more important than trying to relax on electronic devices. I think a lot of us tend to spend a lot of time on social media and other stuff and think that it's relaxing us, but I think internally it's probably creating more tension. So here are the questions. Can you talk about some of the worst moments in your relationship with your crew and how you overcame those issues or those differences?
Oh, yeah. So we had problems at the beginning because I was like the shouty one. I was getting nervous very quickly. And then with the time, we did not argue at all. When well, that was sometimes when we had some differences when it came to the tactics, but as we communicated, it always went well. So the worst times were at the beginning of the sailing, but then it wasn't that I don't know how to say it, rough. It wasn't that rough. Yeah, we're like the best friends on boat. So, well, I might say that I had a problem because we at the end of the second championship, we had a problem with setting the common aim and the purpose, because I wanted to go on and go on for 70, but Hania didn't, and then our ways just split it up. So that was the hard moment, I think.
Okay, there's a question from Rohit Behel and all the way from Singapore. Could you please share some example of common errors that you made and how your team resolved them in training before the championships?
The common error, well, I think strictly before the championship, the common error is overworking. Like you try to focus on so many things that you cannot complete them all. I must say that you have to choose those essential ones and work on them, not on everything, because when you know that you're going on a championship, it's like 3 months till the championship or less. I don't know how it's in the other countries, but in Poland it's like 3 or 4 months, and it's quite a short time to change everything. Like you need to focus on improving the things you're good at and correcting some mistakes, but you need to know that there is no time to fix your whole sailing. And well, yeah, I think that's the biggest error everybody can make, because they want to be 100% perfectly prepared, and they want to correct every mistakes, and then they feel overworked. And yeah, if you're tired, it's not working properly, you know.
Thanks. Question from Thomas, and that is, how much pleasure is there in winning?
How much pleasure? Well, I don't know how to describe it, but when you're winning and you know that you're the winner, at first it's not coming to you, like you're not aware and you're not sure if that's true. But then when you see all the people waiting for you on shore, and you see your parents' faces, or you see the closing ceremony, it's like I know that's the best feeling when there is your flag on the top, the flag of your country. Yeah, it's hard to describe, but yeah, it's really good feeling. But then you have this stress that you're the top one and everyone's looking at you now. so they expect you to be good. And that's why I told in my presentation how to fight with the tension, because like, you know, it gives so much stress that it's not it's useless while you are sailing. Like, you don't need stress when you're on water, and you need to focus on tactics and so on, you know.
Thanks. You mentioned something about setting up rules between you and your relatives and your, you know, maybe your family and friends,
Yeah.
for championship, and maybe even with your coach. So, can you give us an example of those rules? What kind of rules?
Oh yeah. um I I have to say that the social media during the championship is killing the sailors. So, well, on my first championship, I decided not to contact my family, and I was living only with my crew, friends being there, and the coach, not using any social media because it gives you more stress when you're reading about yourself. Like on Facebook, you see, on it, or a Twitter, on Instagram, you see that people are writing about you, and she made a mistake, she did well, she is the first one, like congratulations, even the regatta hasn't ended yet. So the rules I set with my family, for example, was that I'm calling them, not they're calling me. So if I'm not calling them, I don't want to talk with them. And we're not talking about the regatta. So when I was talking with my mother during the second championship in New Zealand, it was like, well, I feel good, I ate the good dinner, that was a good weather. And she was telling me some gossips from my family, and we weren't talking about my sailing at all. So that was rule number one. If I want to talk about my sailing, I will do that. But if I'm not talking about it, they cannot ask me that. So it was really helpful for me that I had this, like, my life on water and my life not thinking about the stress I had during sailing. So that's the example.
Cool. With your coach, can you say something about rules with your coach?
Oh yeah. um Maybe well, I had this rule that I can tell him everything, like even when I have this simple problem, I'm telling him everything. He knows everything about me. He knows when I'm worried or when I'm stressed or what's stressing me, because then he's not sailing simply. He's just a side person who can just lift me up, and he can get a part of my stress to himself and help me just get rid of it. And the rules that I can just argue with him about my sailing. There was nothing I was feared about to tell him. Like when I thought that he did something wrong, I was telling him, and we're like working together because we trusted each other and always telling the truth. So the rule was simply do not hide anything from each other.
How would you want a coach to react to you after you've done a race really badly and you've made a lot of mistakes, and you come back to the coach board? How would you like the coach to react? What would you feel the coach should be doing at that point in time?
Well, my coach, I really liked him, because after I after the race, when we did really bad, he at first he was making a joke, like his favorite joke was that I'm a poker player, that I give all in or nothing. So either I'm winning or either I'm I'm the last one in the race. So at first he was making a joke, but then we were analyzing all the mistakes after the race, and that if well, I need to say that you always have to find a time to analyze all the mistakes after the single race. And well, he was trying to explain me some things. I was trying to explain my things, and he was criticizing me, which everybody needs to learn to make it work good. Because when you know how to criticize in a constructive way, you can make it work really good. As I said in my presentation, that the criticism is something you need to learn to improve your communication.
Could you describe some of the mental problems that you faced pre-championship, during championship, etc., and how you overcame them and with whose help?
The mental breakdowns.
Yeah, any kind of mental pressure, any kind of mental breakdown or situation which you faced. What was that situation, and how did you overcome that situation?
So the first championship in Malaysia wasn't that stressful for me as the second ones, because well, when we arrived to New Zealand, there were like the media waiting for us, and they were asking about our condition, what are our plans, and it's like building the tension from the very beginning. So I was really stressed because everyone expected from me to win it again. So yeah, but while I was sailing during the whole season, I just got to know my the people who I was competing with. So all the girls when in my group sailing were well known by me, and I knew their weak sides or something like that. But well, it was so stressing that I needed to like repeat my winning. And well, how I was dealing with it, as I said, we did yoga with our coach, and it's really fun because I don't do yoga every day. It was only during the championship. I was sleeping a lot. Yeah, I was really sleeping like 12 hours or having an extra nap during the day because it really helped me. Yeah, so that was I cannot tell about one mental breakdown because the whole regatta was really intense for my for me, and it was really stressful every day.
Can you how difficult is it? This is from Tom again. How difficult is it when other people's expectations, like coach or family, especially when you're on top? How do you handle the expectations when you're on the top, and everybody is saying you should win, you should win?
My family did not expect from me anything. Like they told me that if I'm happy when I'm sailing, I will do it even if I'm not successful or successful. So from my family, there was no pressure. The huge pressure was from my friends from sailing, like the other people from Poland that were sailors. I think that was why, because they were very jealous, because we became good in very quickly. So they were just joking about that. So they were writing on Facebook like, who is going to beat the winners this time? Like when we were on the Polish regatta, are the winners going to win again? So the most pressure was especially from the friends sailing in Poland, and also the other coaches, because my coach was too not expecting too much, like not too much, but he wasn't that focused on winning. He just wanted us to be happy, and when we were just relaxed and happy, the winning came like naturally for us. So how I dealt with that, I just contacted with my family, I talked to my coach, or just closed for the social media for some time, or unfollowed some information profiles, just to not think about the pressure they're making.
How would you handle situations where, or where tactically or strategically or preparation-wise, you suddenly feel at a point that you know more than your coach, or you feel that you need to impose your ideas and thoughts on the coach?
One more time.
When you have a situation where you feel that you know something more than your coach, and you feel that what the coach is probably saying is not entirely correct.
Oh yes. We had a lot of situation like that, because I'm not a quiet person, and I need to talk with people. So when we were abroad, like on the regatta, I used to talk with all the coaches, with the sales makers, the other sailors, and the coaches from the other classes, and I was like connecting all those facts I knew, and I was talking to my coach, and we were like improving our knowledge together. Like he was completing me and my crew, and we were completing him, because well, the coach is only sitting on a rib, so he does not see everything what the sailors notice. So he was really grateful that we've worked together, because all the group made huge progress thanks to our cooperation. So he wasn't like yeah, I don't know how to say, but he was like open to our our thoughts and our observations.
Right. You've talked a lot about yoga as helping you relax. Have you done any meditation? And same question is that what kind of mental exercises would you recommend? Are there any specific mental exercises apart from meditation which you might advise people should practice?
Okay, so I did not try meditation. Well, in Poland, it's not that common here that you do yoga or meditation. I've learned yoga from the coach from Hong Kong, and he was just showing us those exercises, the very very different ones. So it was really fun for me to do those, stretching. It was something new for me. So I was focused on those exercises and having fun and forgetting about the stress I had. And also when you when you stretch your muscles, you physically remove the tension and you relieve the tensed muscles and pain. So it really helps to your body and your mental health. And about the mental exercises, I think that the most important thing is to talk and try to share everything when you have something on your mind, not to keep it for so long. If you learn that, you are able to do it when you're sailing, you're able to tell something very quickly. The time is running there, so there's no time to think about those stressful things or mistakes that were made, but just to say it very quickly. So you need to learn that. And the second mental exercise might be, for me it's drawing. When I draw something, I can feel my mood, the colors I use. You don't need to be an artist, just draw what you have on your mind. You can just put some lines, or you can draw you and yourself, or just color something. I think it's very, very fun too.
Sure. Okay. Last two questions, and the first one is describe a moment of failure and how you overcame the situation and learned from it.
Once again?
Describe any moment of failure in your career and what you learned from it.
Okay. So, I can say that the biggest failure, and you won't believe that, was the second place on the European Championship. Yeah, I know it's the silver medal, but we were first for the whole regatta. We were winning, and it was the last race when I decided to play poker, as my coach said, to put all in or nothing. And I didn't follow the person who was second, and I left them behind. So they chased us. We did really bad in that race, and this last race decided that we were second, and that was the biggest failure for me, because that was me who decided not to follow them and leave them somewhere on the side. That was the biggest failure for me.
There's a question here, and can you describe your physical routine maybe during a championship?
Okay, so maybe I will start before the championship. When I was at home, it means not sailing, because the championships were during the winter. So in Poland, we don't have a possibility to train on our lakes or sea. So between going abroad, like to Spain, we were at home, and it was 3 gym sessions a week and 2 condition sessions, like running or swimming. I swimmed a lot because I was in swimming club, going for swimming competition too at some time. So I really enjoyed swimming, and it really improved my flexibility and overall strength. So it was gym and gym, I had the training written for me by the coach, and those two physical sessions like running. Then when we were sailing, we had this warm up in the morning before the breakfast. It was like 5 kilometers running. Then remember to have a warm up before going on a boat, like 10 minutes, I don't know, some push-ups, squats, just to warm up quickly, just to prevent the injuries. And after sailing, we had this compensation training, which means like quick gym, or if there was when it was really intense on water, we had some long stretching or the back exercise, because I know that the sailors have a lot of problems with their back. And during the championship, it looked quite similar to this routine on the abroad trainings. In the morning, we did like half an hour warm up to warm up every muscle, and then 30 minutes yoga. Then the warm up before going on the water, and after the water, some stretching, quick stretching, and before going to sleep, yoga again. So that was the routine.
Thanks very much. I think that was one of the most refreshing set of ideas. I think we have gained a lot from everything that you've said, Julia. And we look
Thank you.
more such conversations with you. And I think since you're now an optic coach for Poland, we'd definitely like you probably to come back to us with some tips on the Optimist sailing. Thanks very much. That was a refreshing and lovely talk. And for everybody else, you may have noticed on the WhatsApp group as well as on the Zoom chat that we are also live on YouTube. And we might start getting live on Facebook. A lot of people have concerns, especially in the forces, that they have got a letter to say that they should not log on to Zoom. I think some of those fears need to be put aside. But yet, for those who would like to have a pure YouTube experience and not come on to Zoom, we have YouTube Live. We've started this session, and we'll have YouTube Live on all the next sessions. Thanks very much, guys. Bye, and stick with us. The next program is going to be tomorrow at 9 o'clock. So just remember, it's 9 o'clock. It's not 10. It's not 11. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. And we have the entire team led by Commander Vartika talking to us about the entire Tarani around the world. That's going to be a big talk. So stay with us. Thanks very much, and goodbye.
Thank you.